just try and give some space and give some attention to your neighbours and make sure that everyone's okay. There's people fainting. We're trying to get supplies and make sure there's medics, and for water, those who can take it. But please just look to your neighbours and be careful. Our next speaker, London Assembly member, great supporter when the Palestinian team came over to the Olympics. He organised a reception, Murad Qureshi. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
I'm here because when I was bombed as a small child, people spoke for me during the Bangladesh Liberation War, and I was able to walk across the Indian border. The Palestinians in Gaza don't even have that option because the Egyptian army are stopping them going through the Rafah crossing. Shame on you, Egyptian army!
Shame on you!
We are all here standing up for the Palestinians because the world leaders have failed them so miserably that they need public opinion. And this is why this is gratifying to hear. We have demos like this all around the world because it's going to be world public opinion that's going to change things for the Palestinians. We are here also to stand against the brutality against the Palestinian civilians and particularly their children. What can be more natural for brothers to go to a beach and play football a week after the World Cup was held in Brazil? What is more natural that when you're bombarded, you go to your hospitals and schools for shelter from the bombardment? That's what we're here, standing up for the Palestinians. We're also here to stand up against the mass media bias. That's of course except for Jon Snow. The bias which doesn't recognise. The bias that doesn't recognise this is a war with stone throwers versus a nuclear power between the occupier and the occupied. When are the BBC going to read their bloody history books? We are also here because the British state has been complicit in the fate of the Palestinians. The British state gave their land away, did very little when the Nakba happened in '48. Their colonial laws are still being used to this day to prosecute and intimidate Palestinians. And now we hear they're actively supplying arms still to the Israeli state to kill and maim Palestinians. And finally, we are here to remind President Obama the wise words of Nelson Mandela. We all know too well that our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinians. Free, free Palestine!
We're coming near the end now. We're coming near the end. Everyone's really hot, I presume. Give a bit of space, but have a little bit of movement, right? Everyone put your right hand in the air, like this. Right hand in the air. Now this movement shows unity. This movement comprises of many, many people. It comprises of Christians. Put your thumb down. Put your thumb down. That's it. It comprises of Jews. Put your thumb down. It comprises of people of other faith. Put your thumb down. Well, your finger, next finger, right? It comprises of people with no faith. Put the other one down. It comprises of people that are Muslim. Put your pinky down. This fist that you have, this is what will end the apartheid regime. This fist of unity will end the occupation. Keep united, keep strong. And the leadership sometimes should be coming from there, but unfortunately it does not. But we are lucky and fortunate enough to have one or two MPs that do stand for justice. And our next speaker stands for this unity, stands for justice. I give you Jeremy Corbyn MP.
My friends, first of all, big thank you to each and every one of you that marched and came to the demonstration today, all those that have been on demonstrations in towns and cities all over this country, all those that have been on demonstrations all across Europe, all across America, all across the world. People are marching today for Palestine. And this is the biggest demonstration so far. And we're going to carry on demonstrating as long as it takes to bring about that peace, that justice, that freedom for the people of Palestine. But these demonstrations don't happen by accident. I want to thank all the organisations that supported today's demonstration. Palestine Solidarity, Stop the War, CND, Muslim Association of Britain, Friends of Al-Aqsa, everybody that's come together. And those that yesterday afternoon were knocking placards together, those that were making phone calls and raising funds to pay for this demonstration. A movement requires unity, a movement requires strength, a movement requires commitment, and we've got all of those things. We're also making a difference. We are demanding things of the British government, and I'll come back to that in a few seconds. But I want to say a big thank you to the people and government of Chile, a country that's known oppression, that has stopped trade with Israel. To the people and government of Brazil that have sent the Israeli ambassador on his way. That sent the Israeli ambassador on his way. To the people and government of apartheid-free South Africa that have sent the ambassador on his way. So what is the British government doing? Very good question. When Levi Pillay made a very interesting, very careful and very well-researched speech to the UN Human Rights Council a few days ago, she called for an inquiry into war crimes that have been committed. She doesn't do that lightly. One country voted against the inquiry, quelle surprise, the United States of America. To its shame, Britain and the other European countries abstained. Well, the message I've got and the message we took to Downing Street yesterday is quite simply this. Israel has nuclear weapons, Israel has an army, Israel has an air force, Israel has a navy. The Palestinians have a land under occupation, have a land being divided by apartheid roads and settlements, have the Gaza Strip where 1.8 million people are living in an open-air prison surrounded by machine guns overflown by drones when there are not F-16s bombing civilian targets. There's a military power destroying a poor, unemployed and defenseless people. We know which side we are on in this conflict. We are a united demonstration of all faiths, all cultures, all backgrounds. And I thought the brilliant speech made by Glenn Secker of Jews for Justice for Palestine, quoting the great Dr. Mads Gilbert, shows that we're also humanists and humanitarians who are standing for peace and justice. And I will conclude with this thought. I've had the pleasure of visiting Palestine on 9 occasions. I love the place, I love the people, I love the friendship, I love the culture. I love that sense, that way that culture has survived the oppression, the occupation, the denigration, the discrimination, but it lives on and on. And after me follows a great Palestinian, a great person who's such creativity, such entertainment and such voice. And I want to say in conclusion, tell the British government, act in our name, not in the name of the arms manufacturers. I say to the British people, your voice is making a difference. Our government is getting more and more isolated, and it's a pleasure to be followed by such a great Palestinian as Reem Kalani. Thank you very much.
having a great culture. We're going to celebrate Palestinian culture. There was so many speeches, I don't think I can at all add anything from all our comrades. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to sing 2 songs with me, very short because we don't have enough time. The first one is hundreds and hundreds of years old. Ya halali ya mali, what I have is mine by right. Normally the clapping is this way, but because we're all on top of each other, we're going to clap this way. And will you do it if they won't? Everyone on stage, are you going to join me? So every time I sing a verse, you will respond, Ya halali ya mali. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. اسمعوا لي يا حضار الوطن نادى حماته واللي عادينا الحرار الله يلعن حياته. يلا يا حلالي واللي بده يصون الارض بحمي بلاده وبحمي الارض وبشعل حب الوطن فارد بيت الفارد صلاته. واللي عادي امتنا ما يأمن من نقمتنا ولازم توصل دولتنا وتخلي عشانا باكو. One more time. Give yourselves a big round of applause. And we will end with a song that each and every Arab relates to. And today we will make each and every human and humanist relate to. People sing it in Egypt, in Palestine, in Syria, in Algeria, written way in the 30s, long before the creation of the State of Israel. Mawtini, my homeland, by the great Palestinian poet Ibrahim Tuqan. Those who speak Arabic, please help the non-Arab speakers to join along. Mawtini, الجلال والجمال والثناء والبهاء في رباك والحياة والنجاة والهناء والرجاء في هواك. هل أراك سالما منعما وغانما مكرما ساك. هل أراك في علاك قاهرا عداك قاهرا عداك موطني موطني. Last verse. موطني موطني الحسام واليراع لا الكلام والنزاع رمزنا رمزنا مجدنا وعهدنا وواجب إلى الوفا يهزنا يهزنا. Hands in the air. عزنا عزنا غاية تشرف وراية ترفرف غاية تشرف وراية ترفرف. يا هناك في علاك قاهرا عداك قاهرا عداك موطني موطني. God bless you. Long live Palestinian music, culture. God bless you.
Thank you, Reem, and thank you everyone for coming. From Scotland, Ireland, Wales, the south of England, this has been the biggest day of protests we have had since Israel started the massacre. What we needed to do now is get involved in the campaign going forward. Get involved in boycott, divestment, sanctions. Make sure you write to Cameron, go online. Make sure you sign a letter to MPs. And what we want to do, let's go back to that thing earlier on. Isolate Israel, sanctions now. Isolate Israel. Isolate apartheid. Isolate